So today I'm going to be doing the my first time tag. I don't know if these are the original questions or the ones I'm supposed to be answering, seeing that I wasn't tagged, but anyway. These are the questions that I found that were more relevant that I could answer, because the other list are kind of like, what was your first tweet? What was your first MySpace picture and all this stuff? And I'm kind of like, none of the above. I'm yet to find out because I don't have either. So I'm going to answer these questions. I'm going to put the questions in the description below. Answer them in the comments. So it'll be so fun. So first question, do you still talk to your first love? No, unfortunately I don't. That's a really long story and we'll save that for another day. What was your first alcoholic drink? I don't know if you mean like legally or not legally, but my first alcoholic drink was a Smirnoff Ice when I was about 15 years old. My best friend, and all I remember from that night is dancing to the Rocky Horror Picture Show and falling down with everybody during the time warp and slicing my neck on a glass table. So that was my first time drinking. My first, I think, legal alcoholic drink was a bubblegum shot on my 19th birthday at 10 in the morning. What was your first job? It's actually still my current job. It's a kids play center, so there's a playground and games and different things for kids to do. What was your first car? My first car is still my same car. It's a 99 Sunfire. It's money green. I actually haven't seen another Sunfire in the same color as mine, and my car's name is Dunn, after Ryan Dunn, because I've had a tendency of naming my inanimate objects after people that have passed away that influenced me. Because he influenced me. The first person to text you today. There you go. It was my best friend. Or I said to her, how's work? And she said, super lame. That was my first text of the day. Who was the first person you thought of this morning? My boyfriend. Aw. Who was your first grade teacher? I don't remember, but when I was in grade 1, we used to call her Mrs. S because her name was super confusing. Where did you go on your first ride in an airplane? I went to Los Angeles with my parents to Disneyland for my 11th birthday. And then actually right after we got back from that trip, my dad found out he had a big conference to go to in Anaheim 3 months later. So his company paid for me to fly down and go to Disneyland for my second time. Yay! Who was your first best friend and do you still talk? My first best friend was this girl. I'm not going to say her name, but we met when we were 2 or 3 through our moms, because they went to this thing together and we were in this daycare kind of thing for it, and we hung out. We were pretty much inseparable all through elementary school, and then at the beginning of middle school we had a really bad fallout, and then we were just kind of civil for the rest of school, and then I lost complete touch with her since middle school, but that's okay. You win some, you lose some. Where was your first sleepover? The same best friend's house. I don't know how old we were or anything like that, but I remember eating salt and vinegar chips, and then at some point in either the night or the morning, I think it was the morning, I was sick and I threw up. Her mom, who was mad at me for getting sick, made me this piece of toast, and in the very middle of it, it had butter and Parmesan cheese. And she told me to eat everything, and then if I didn't like it, just eat around that. But anyway, that was my first sleepover. Who was the first person you talked to today? My boyfriend. Whose wedding were you in the first time? My aunt's wedding, and I was actually the ring bearer, and I know that's usually a boy's job or whatever, but I was the ring bearer because at the time there was just girl cousins, everyone, we had no boys in the family, so my cousins that were all sisters and whoever else were the flower girls, and then I was the ring bearer, and I felt super special. What was the first thing you did this morning? I grabbed my phone because it was meh, 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 and I was mad. I didn't want to wake up because I was really tired this morning. So yeah, the first thing I did this morning was I snoozed for about an hour. What was the first concert you ever went to? I went to a Backstreet Boys concert 2 years ago. Yeah, it was actually really fun. First broken bone. I've never broken a bone. Not jealous of the few of you that have. First piercing were my ears. First foreign country you've been to. Netherlands, Holland and stuff. First movie you remember seeing. I don't know if this is supposed to mean in theaters or first movie I remember seeing, but I used to be obsessed with The Lion King. My parents and I used to go to this grocery store. There was like younger girls, like about my age, probably younger. They used to just like work like meat stands or like whatever things. They'd always give me like free samples and talk to me and be like, hey, how's you doing and stuff. And I think they used to babysit me. But anyway, they took me to The Lion King. And I don't know if that was my first movie or if my parents took me first before they did or whatever, but The Lion King was the first movie I ever saw in theaters. And I was obsessed with The Lion King. Like, I used to watch it all the time. And I remember once when I was getting babysat, we were like watching it and the girl was like, what do you want to watch? And I was like, The Lion King, obviously, it's my favorite movie. And she was like, the VHS is tired, it needs to take a break. So I had to pick another movie because I get it now, but she was annoyed with watching The Lion King over and over again. Sorry, my camera died halfway through that. But anyway, the first movie I remember actually going to see was Space Jam with my dad, and I think I was like 5 or 6, and I remember eating blue Skittles during the movie. When was your first detention? I don't think I ever really had detention. Like, I remember a few times in elementary school when I was either pulled into the principal's office or had like detentions for talking too much in class, but I think that's the real only detention I had then. And then there was another time in middle school where my teacher had a meltdown, and anyway, but we all got detention because she was having a bad day. But other than that, I don't really ever remember detentions. Like, I was in a principal's office and stuff, but I never really got like disciplined for the things I was doing. I wasn't a bad kid or anything, but I just never got detention, really. Who was your first roommate? I actually still live with my first roommates. I moved in with my best friend and her fiance, and then a couple months later, we welcomed their beautiful baby girl into the world. And the three of us have been living together for a long time now. And then one of our other friends moved in with us into our new house that we're living in now. So I still live with my first roommate. If you had one wish, what would it be? If I had one wish, it would be that in real life, you could have a like redo button or a rewind button, or just something like when you say something stupid, do something stupid, you wake up in the morning and you're like, what did I do last night? You could just press rewind and redo it. That would be really helpful. What is something you wish you could learn if you had the chance? I really want to know a second language. What were the first lessons you ever took? I was in swimming lessons. I also took like piano lessons and gymnastics, diving, but swimming lessons. So that's the end of my tag. I'm not tagging anybody because I don't know anybody to tag. But yeah, answer the same questions down in the comments. It'll be super fun and stuff, and I hope you're having a lovely Monday evening.